All right, welcome everybody to Let It Roll, Exploring Physics with Children. Our presenter today is Victoria Rowenhorst. Victoria enjoys playing in dirt, looking at insects and blowing bubbles with her 4-year-old daughter, Lucille. Ms. Rowenhorst is from Crown Point, New Mexico on the Navajo Nation. She's been in early childhood education for over 10 years. She has a bachelor's in psychology from the University of New Mexico and a master's in curriculum and instruction with an emphasis in early childhood education from Arizona State University. Through her work at Explora, Ms. Rowenhorst is able to provide quality, informal STEAM programs to schools and communities. Her experience in informal education has led her to embracing and educating others about everyday and cultural science. She loves bringing the excitement of science, math, art, and engineering to children, families, and educators. Victoria is an active member in the community and volunteers at several organizations. She believes in building community assets and views communities through a strengths-based approach. She believes communities have many resources and much knowledge to offer. So welcome, Victoria. We're so pleased to have you with us. I'm going to put myself on mute and hand it over to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Good afternoon. My name is Victoria, and I apologize if it's a little difficult to hear me, but I am experiencing, the pollen, the allergies, and now just experiencing food sickness, so food poisoning. So that's fun. But I wanted to ask you to grab a paper and a pen and or whatever you have next to you. And I want you to write down, what do you know about rolling and balls? Anything. You can write it down. And we will start in about a minute. Just write down whatever you know about rolling and balls. All right. Go ahead and finish your last few seconds of thought there as we get into this. All right. Now, I want you to look around you. What are some items that you can roll across the floor? Anything. You can enter it into the chat, or you could show us on the camera if you so choose. Ooh, a water bottle. Nice. That's my favorite. All right. I kind of cheated. I have some balls here, but and some cups, but ooh, a stress ball. Cars. Nice. Well, I have my socks. I took them off. They're clean, but I took them off. And the reason why I want you to look around is because not every family has the chance to get toys that are of, good quality. They have things around their house that they could use. And we want to encourage them to use the materials around them in their home that could be used safely. And so I got a sock. Why a sock, you say? Victoria, why a sock? Well, the sock is easy, it's accessible. I wash it in the laundry. I don't like to use fabric softener so much on my socks because you never know when you're gonna come across a child, and I do carry around an extra pair of socks that are clean, that have not been used in or have not been washed with fabric softener, because I like to show families that you can use materials even on yourself that could be used for rolling. And in this case, I want you, if you have socks or anything that can be turned into a ball, to roll it across the floor. And I want you to tell me, what do you notice about how it rolls? I'm going to roll my sock here. What do you notice about how it's rolling? It doesn't go in a straight line. Yep. Well, I'll tell you about the sock that I have. It rolled and it curved, but it also jumped. And it landed pretty softly. So when I tossed it on the floor and had it roll, it rolled pretty nice. It rolled slowly and it jumped. So what would happen if I was to roll that again, but I made a ramp? I just have some cardboard here. And what do you think is going to happen if I was to roll it down a ramp? It might fall off to the side. Faster. All right. So, got my sock here, and I'm going to push this back ever so gently. There we go. There we are. And I'm going to roll it. Let's see what our predictions are. Oh, it did fall off to the side, but it rolled slower and it was straight for a while. Ooh, and it keeps going off to the right. I wonder if I position it differently. That was cool. Now, Miss Victoria, why are we playing with a sock? Why are we playing with these things? We want children to play with things that are available in their house. Like I said, most families don't have access to a lot of funds. And in my experience as a home visitor, I have used materials that were available within the home, obviously making sure that they were safe. So in the case of my sock, I don't use fabric softener, because what if I have a little guy and they want to put this in their mouth? And it's fine if they do it if I didn't use any fabric softener. And so some of my families, we have talked about the dreaded one-sided sock pile. I think we all have the one-sided sock pile in our homes. And that has turned into my little ball of socks. And I love playing with those with children. My experience right now with infants and toddlers is I get to play with them for 2 hours every week on a Sunday, and we love rolling balls all over. Now, I have an infant, and he is the cutest. And so in order for me to get the perspective that he has on the floor during tummy time or on his back, was to simply lay down on the floor and roll over, but keeping my head down. And what did I notice? So, yeah, the sock monster. So I want you, if you can, I want you to lay down on the floor on your back, and I want you to just lay there. look around, turn your head, because we can't do this. Babies can't do this. They're just like, whoa. What do you notice? What are you noticing as you're laying down on your back? Not that you're tired or that it feels great. I know it feels great. Believe me, I know that laying on your back feels great. And just taking that, like, little break in the afternoon just to lay on your back and see what the perspective of an infant is. A boring white ceiling. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my age. Yeah. That's probably why I'm not on the floor too. Yeah. Now, as you're on your back and you're looking around like, oh my goodness, this is boring. Yeah. We put children in the floor is closer and it seems bigger. Yes. And just imagine if somebody were to walk into your room or your office or wherever you're at and you see their feet. You're like, oh my goodness, what is that? You know, looking at it and trying to figure out, like, okay. Now I want you to roll onto your stomach. And again, this time you can do this and just kind of looking. You don't have to completely put your head down. But an infant, it's doing tummy time for the first time is just like, okay, what is this feeling? This feeling that I'm on my stomach. And I'm seeing all these things. I can kind of lift my head as it's nodding, as I'm gaining strength and looking this way. All right. Now here comes the fun part, people. As you're on your stomach, I want you, and I'm going to get on my stomach because I know, it's not fair, Victoria, that you don't get to be on your stomach as we do this. So I'm going to get on my stomach. And I'm going to get a ball. And I want you to lay, and I want you just to roll the ball in front of your face. What are you noticing now as that ball is rolling near your face? Is it gets bigger as it approaches your face? Yep. It's making sounds. It's helping me track it. So one thing we always like to check with, I want to move my head and eyes to watch. Yep. As infants are, we're always checking. Okay, can they hear? Yes, they're looking. They're looking and they're looking. But also we want to make sure that we're giving their eyes some exercise. We're giving them that tracking exercise, right? So as they're in this position, they're going to want to move their head as they're tracking. Just like they're on their back, they're going to be tracking the ball, probably not this purple one, probably give something a little darker to give them that contrast, that perspective of what is that dark thing moving right there close to my face, right? Now, go ahead and sit up. Oh my gosh. Now we are sitters. We have figured out how to sit, and your legs are probably not spread out like mine like this. Mine are actually spread out. Probably down on the floor. Same ball or same object that you have around you to roll. I want you to roll it to something that will send it back to you. So maybe the wall, maybe your foot, it will bounce, right? It'll come back off. Now, as you're doing this, lean forward. Oh, yep. Push it back and forth. Awesome. Now, what are you noticing besides the pull in your hips and your legs? That nice stretch. What do you notice about the ball as it's so far from your face now? It's making tracking more fun. Yeah. Smaller. All right. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun here. Now let's play, we're a crawler. Okay. So go ahead, if you can. If you can't, that's totally fine, I get it. Go ahead and be in the crawling position. It is hard for them to lift up an arm and push sometimes. Sometimes they get it. They're like, oh, clumsy. And they knock the ball. They knock the ball, but it's not intentional, right? As it's going, they get faster. They're crawling. So my little infant now, he is learning to crawl, and he is slightly, I don't want to say delayed, but he's just a little bit late. He's not there yet, but he's getting there. He's starting to crawl, but he's doing that scooting on his butt, right? So in order for him to get moving across to chase the balls that I have for him, I have been pushing them a little further and out of the reach so that he's in that position, and then just kind of bouncing back and forth, because that's what infants are doing. They're getting ready. They're like, okay, I'm going to go. No, I'm not going to go. Yep, no, yep, no. And then they start bouncing, and then they're moving forward. So that's what our little crawler is doing. And I want to have you look around for some other materials, like a box, a cup, and a piece of flat. It can be a book. It can be maybe your employee handbook that you haven't looked at in a while. It can totally be that. Don't worry. You can say, I open it once a year, and this is one of those things you can use it for. So go ahead. I'm going to give you about a minute to 2 to go grab some stuff, because we are going to be rolling off of ramps. Okay.
So Victoria, tell us again. So we need a book or some kind of flat surface, and
Yes.
And a ball and a cup?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. A ball or something that can roll. It can be your sock. It can be, yeah, you need a cup. I have a yogurt cup here. So whatever you can find. Give you about a minute. Oh yeah, perfect. I have a box. I'm gonna go grab my box. Okie dokie. Are we all back? Okay. I think we're all back, right? Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a ramp. It doesn't have to be high. It doesn't have to be long, as long as it's a ramp, okay? An incline plane. So I got me a piece of box here, or a piece of cardboard. We get so many Amazon orders here that we have such a supply of cardboard that it's easy to grab that. And then to get my ramp up, I'm going to use my shoe, my croc here. And again, like I said, it does not have to be high. It does not have to be long like this one here. So when you have a sitter or even just a crawler, they're going to want to push on this, and that's totally fine because our ramp is something that can easily be found, and if it's a box and they bend it, that's okay. If it's a book, a hard book, that's totally fine. But what we're going to do is we're just going to be rolling some stuff down our ramp here. So I have this little guy here and just rolling. Oof, that one didn't do so well. I got this little one here that has these wonderful like textures on it. So this one is going to roll, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to roll. So go ahead and start rolling your materials that you have around you to see how they roll. Oh, I like that one. I have this wonderful one for contrast. It's also squishy, makes sounds. See how that is as a roller. That one's not very good, but oh well. I got this one for those gripping motions with your hands. Sounds as well. Ooh, that was pretty cool. Oh, here's another one. So these are materials that I found and we've been using quite a bit, just playing around with them and see how they roll with our CNM students. And we really enjoy them. And this is a little ornament ball that I turned into a roller. And it just has some beads in there. Makes a lovely sound. And I'm going to roll that one too. Makes wonderful sounds. So what did you notice as you rolled your things down your ramp? Speed. Again, there's that tracking. I'm watching my roller roll down. I'm building up my neck to turn. Yep. My little crawler is probably going to do this, start trying to go after it. My sitter is probably going to lean over and try to grab it. And they will. Oh, smooth and surprisingly straight. Nice. What about your cup? Go ahead and try your cup. This one is not rolling so well. It's rolling fast, but it's falling off. Oops. Awesome. How about a cup? Have you tried a cup? How is that rolling? My cup has a handle and does not roll. Okay. Does it go bloop? Gotta move it again. Bloop. Bloop. All right. We love rolling with cups here at Explora. It's one of our biggest things we love to roll with because you can always change it with tape. So it's always fun to do something different. Now, I didn't ask you to gather this, but I do have a box and it does have an opening and an ending, or an opening on both ends. And so I want you to tell me, what do you think will happen if you brought a box like this to a client's home that has a little guy, little person, and you're rolling things in from the top? Let me know what you think would happen. Oh yeah, put things in the box. Surprise, yep. They will look into the box. All right. I'll be so excited. Yep. Disappears. Time delay. Object permanence. Blah. So, and I challenge you, if you have a family that has a little one that would find this so exciting, bring a box with you that looks just like this. Well, close to this. This one is a painter's plastic box that we have laying around. And I want you to set one up with them and test it out with them. Set it up like a ramp. And I have like this noisy ball here. And have you place it there inside. Point out that it rolled out on the other end. And then give them the ball. And see what they do. They might move it to the end. They might put it there and then pull it back out. They might keep doing, they might play that dance of back and forth, right? So this is your chance to explore the disappearing ball and the reappearance. Okay. So try that out with your little one, because boxes are so magical. They're so fun. And the little guys love them. I guarantee you. My daughter loved playing with boxes. Another one that I have, and you all have this at your disposal, and all the families have this too. But you all have a paper towel tube or a toilet paper tube, right? Sometimes we just don't know what to bring. Sometimes we just don't know, like, I don't want to give them all these beautiful balls that are textured and everything and only be able to bring them one time. Show them the wonderful things that they can do with recycled materials. Now, I like to use paper towel rolls or toilet paper tubes and just rolling that. Just giving them that chance to see that anything, safely can be made into a toy, made into something that rolls down ramps, that can roll across floors, that gets them tracking with their eyes, that gets them moving if they're learning to crawl, if they're learning to sit up, if they're learning to scoot. So those are some things that are available within their homes that they can use. All right. Let me just sit back up here. Okay, before we move on, do you have any questions for me or a comment? Oh yeah, object permanence activity for sure.
Hi, I do.
Yeah.
So how do you get a baby, like motivated to get on their tummy time when they just hate it? Like they're like, you put them on and like it's broken glass or something and they start screaming and they just don't like it. And like how can you motivate or smooth or make sure that transition is a little bit smooth, even if it's for a minute, like any ideas? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. So one of the things that even as a parent, I thought tummy time, because they told me they should be able to be doing tummy time for 5 minutes within the first like 3 weeks or so. And I was like, wait, what? 5 minutes all at once? They're like, no. If you can do tummy time for 30 seconds, awesome. And that's like in the morning. Great, you did such a great job, honey. Good job, my love. All right. Oh, here's another opportunity. 30 seconds on their back or on their stomach. Giving them that time to throughout the day to build up to that. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes, obviously. It just building up to the tummy time. 30 seconds is great. As they're building up, you can start introducing those things for tracking. One thing that I never thought of until I had my daughter about tummy time and the thought of rolling. Okay, so as babies are on their back, they're like, okay, this is awesome. And they get picked up. Whoa, where am I, right? I got picked up. Where am I? What position am I in? So with this rolling and children like learning that motion of turning, you want to ease them into that. I'm on my back and I'm rolling onto my stomach. They won't be doing that right away, obviously. You're going to have to do that for them until they build up that core strength in order for them to learn how to do that themselves. But you're giving them that guidance. You're giving them that map, right? That map of, this is how I roll. I can roll to my left. I can roll to my right. And what that looks like. Does that help? And again, like 30 seconds, I wouldn't even reach a minute. Lucille did not do so well, like with a minute. I had to ease her into it, and she eventually did it. She loves that vestibular type of stuff. Like she rolls around a lot. All right.
Thank you, Victoria. That was helpful.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a question about the activities that we just did? Because I will take us again on some more activities. All right, cool. So Anna, to go on with the object permanence activity, we're going to play a little game here, right? Same thing. Where's the ball, baby? It's in there. No, is it? Oh my goodness, it's right there. Ah, it is. So I love playing this with babies because I always have a solid container, and then I also have something that's see-through. And I like rolling to catch. I catch it within my containers. I'm actually doing this. The babies are not doing this. And we're basically playing catch, but I'm rolling, right? Again, the tracking. Where is it going? So this is really fun. I love doing this. My daughter Lucille has recently learned how to play the shell game. So she does this, which is really fun. Now, let's move on to toddlers. Ah, toddlers. I love toddlers. They're my favorite. And we are going to use this time they figured out. They have figured out that if I put a ball at the end of here and it rolls out, it will come out the other end, right? Like I know exactly what's going to happen, but they still get surprised. It's so funny how they get surprised, even though they've seen it before and they figured it out. But when they see it one more time in a different context, they're like, oh, I never knew that could happen. So same thing. And this time with my toddler, I have a longer tube, right? And in this case, I do not leave a ball that's smaller than this, than their fist, right? Definitely not smaller than that with them unless I am playing with them. And I've told families that anything smaller than a paper towel tube right here or a toilet paper tube to monitor or stay with them or not give it to them at all because of the choking hazard, right? And so I try to find bigger tubes that are bigger that could, hold a wiffle ball. I buy wiffle balls in mass amounts, so it kind of fits in there, but it's still wonderful for this. Now you're probably wondering, Miss Victoria, why are we playing with toilet paper tubes and a wiffle ball? The most wonderful thing that I've ever seen a parent do after just showing them how a little wiffle ball can go through a tube like this, they started collecting tubes. They started collecting all kinds of stuff. They even collected pool noodles. And we decided that their little toddler wanted something that was grand. They wanted something that was awesome, that was a little bit more, not permanent, but something that they could have ready to go. And so guess what? We built a gravity wall. A gravity wall is simply using inclined planes on a wall and having a ball go through. And let's say at the end of here, there's another tube, helps it go down the other way. And so it goes back and forth as it's going through these tubes and ends up at the end. And that was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen a parent do. I've seen gravity walls, like I've seen primo gravity walls made out of PVC pipes. I've seen them made out of, these clear PVC pipes. But this was pretty cool. It was amazing. And eventually they started cutting holes in there so that the child could see the ball going through. So you don't really need a whole lot of materials to even try this. I got a pool noodle that's been cut in half that can be bent and maneuvered so that the gravity wall could be changed in the direction, okay? And we can use boxes. I love boxes. I did say I love boxes, right? And so that was one of the most wonderful projects that I've ever seen a family just embrace using recycled materials. Yeah, I have a family that's the holes kind of in half and put everything you're saying. Yeah, from exploring, that's where I'm from. That's where I'm at too, yeah. But yes, just something simple as a doot, doot, doot. And it doesn't have to be expensive materials. It could be anything that is around you that could be used for rolling. We love cups here. Like I said, we love to roll cups because they don't roll straight. They always have to roll off to the side. And so giving some taping there, and now I have a wonderful roller that will roll, and it will roll straight. So that is about the end of, we're getting close to the end here. Do you all have any questions for me? I love that family did exactly that with paper towel tubes. If you're wondering why I made you lay on the floor and get on your tummy and all that, is because it's very important for you to see the perspective from a baby. And I encourage my parents, my home visiting parents, or even just whatever caregiver they had, but mostly parents, to always lay on the floor and get the perspective of their babies, because it was important that they saw what their children could see. Not that things had to be cleaned up, more like, what's that, And like you said, looking up into the ceiling, boring. But
Victoria, I have a question. I'm wondering, so you talked about things like rolling up socks and cardboard tubes. Are there other cups? Are there other specific items that you've seen families use just for sort of demonstrating the rolling activities? Like other things that you can think of that most families will have at home if for some reason socks or a cup or something, it doesn't work?
Yeah, I've well, the balls, and then I've seen the water bottles, like I had a Dasani water bottle around here, and tubes. We've played with tubes, those things that roll, that have that either cylindrical shape or a spherical shape. I didn't get anything heavy. I definitely did not like to use like foam those like stress balls, because teethers will bite it and chew on the foam, which is not good.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, I mean, I think your approach was pretty awesome because I think thinking about like sensory, also having the perspective of the kid and just the encouragement and just seeing how things work. And yeah, I think it can do so much for hand-eye coordination or just teaching your child not only like awareness, but just something big in in the programs is reflection, and I think sometimes just activating those muscles or those eyes or whatever can kind of do a lot for a kid, so yeah.
Yeah, and throughout the whole process, as we're playing on the floor with their babies or rolling things, we're talking to their child. Oh my goodness, did you see that? That yellow ball, it rolled down the ramp. They don't understand the words that I'm saying, but they can hear my excitement. They can hear me explaining stuff to them. They can hear me giving labels to stuff. Um, a lot of the time, I've had mothers that were bilingual want to only speak to their children in English, and I told them, please don't do that. I want you to speak to them in both. You can speak to them in Spanish. You're most comfortable in that, and then repeat it in English. You don't have to. I don't want you to feel like you have to keep that from them, because that's not building their brain. They're hearing both languages, and it's adding to their knowledge. It's adding to their like, ooh, that word, I hear that word, and I hear it, like, they're connecting. They're already doing those things. They're building up those little synapses in their brains, right? So, we do so much as as a home visitor before, we did so much for the families in order for them to feel like we're giving them the tools to be successful educators to their children. And so this is one way that we can be those facilitators in that play with them, and giving the parents like that. It's okay not to have all the best toys. Get free toys, get thrift store toys, use the stuff around your house. I mean, carrying those big spoons with the balls and carrying it around, that was always fun, because we always like, playing that game with the egg and the spoon and walking it from one end to the other without dropping it. And we played around with those. Lucille loves to play with this. She like gets the big ladle and she's like, oh, I got my ball. And she like carries it around. I don't know why she's doing it. She still does it. It's so funny. But that's just one of the few things that, as a home visitor, that I stressed to my families, was that it didn't matter if they had all the money in the world. They could use anything around them. Stuff I made that I would play with my families are things like this. So this is, again, an ornament that I bought, and I just stuffed it with tinsel and I put a cork in it. I want to cut it off, but again, same thing, so shiny, like beautiful, looks like rainbows in there. I put all kinds of weird things and balls and stuff. And then I have this here, which is just some contact paper and some cardboard tubes that have been cut differently. And this is one of my rollers, because when it rolls, it looks so weird as it rolls across the floor. It looks like it's wobbly, but it isn't. It's rolling straight, but it looks like it's going like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Richard, yes. Kids love knocking down things. All right. Does anybody have any other questions, any thoughts? What have you used with your families as far as using recycled materials within the home?
I noticed a few ideas in the chat previously. I saw thread spools. I saw clear containers and water bottles, and putting masking tape over the ends. Great ideas.
So Brenda, if you have the water bottle and you slice it in half and you put the two ends of the water bottle that were sliced, so like let's say right here's the opening for where they drink right here, and you sliced it open, and the same thing on this side. So this part is where they drink. Okay, so if you tape them together like this and you have the two ends sticking out with the where they drink from, and you tape them and make a roller out of that, that one is really fun too, because they there's two different bottles, they're clear, and you can put stuff inside, put a bottle cap in there. Yeah, exactly like that, Andrea. And then you can, yeah, you just cut both of those in half, put it in there, and then put something inside. There's your sensory tool, your sensory bottle, if you will. You can put marbles, you can put anything that's rubber. I love playing with rubber because of rubber balls, because if you put them inside, or even those rubber pencil erasers and put them inside, the sound that it makes is, it's not chaotic, but it's like soft thumping, like thump, thump, thump. And so when you do that, you can always put the lid back on so it doesn't fall out, and then it rolls. Whoops, excuse me. And then it rolls and it makes those wonderful sounds. Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this. These were some terrific ideas. And you know what? I think it's always fun to take a few minutes and get on the floor. So I really appreciate you asking us to do that. Although the people were walking past my office here looking and wondering what precisely I was doing, rolling around on the floor, but really appreciate it. So thanks, Victoria, and thanks to those of you who joined us today. Again, we will be sending out recordings of all of these next week, and our next session is tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Jess Clark on supporting families in exploring and navigating gender possibilities. So thanks for being here with us today.